Welcome back, YouTube. So today I want to talk about a specific way that I live. One of my mottos is don't crash out, bounce back. Okay, I have a no crash out policy. Under no circumstances will I be crashing out. And the reason I say that, or the reason I talk about this topic, is because every day on, whether it be the regular news media, social media, you see all sorts of stories of people crashing out, ruining their lives over something that's temporary, over something that they would have gotten over had they took the time to think about the long-term consequences of their actions. And me being someone that has done time in the past, I know full well what crashing out, what the end result of particular actions can bring. And being fortunate enough to have gone through that and be able to come home with a new perspective, a new outlook, a new appreciation of what it is to be free, I developed a zero tolerance for crashing out, no crash out policy. So I can vividly remember I was speaking to someone, and the guy, I was incarcerated, and I was about 20, I want to say 25, 26, and the guy was like in his 50s, and real funny guy, like have you dying laughing with all these stories of his life. But this was like his 5th time in prison, and he was telling me stories. I was on the top bunk. We were in open bay. Open bay is basically where a big room, and there's 70 bunk beds and a bunch of people in there. So anyway, I was on my top bunk, and he was standing next to me telling me a story. And when he was telling me the story, my mind, I remember it like it was yesterday. My mind went, I kind of zoned out, and I was looking at him saying to myself, if I don't get my shit together, I'm gonna be a 50-something-year-old person talking to a 20-something-year-old, telling them stories about my life, whatever lifestyle that would have been, whether it been in and out of jail, whatever. But I would be some loser like this guy, having been in prison 5 times, and he was doing like a 15-year bid at that time. And I told myself right then and there that I did not want to be that person. I did not want to be him. I did not want to look up years later and say, damn, where did my life go? Making one bad decision after another, crashing out one time after another. Now, thankfully for him, or luckily for him, he still had a chance to get out again after, that being his like 5th time. But I wanted to make that my last time being incarcerated. And I remember saying that I would do whatever it took, whether I had to sweep the sun off the sidewalk, pick up shit after elephants, whatever it took to stay out of this situation, I was gonna do it. And it's been now, like, I want to say about 12 or 13 years I've been home. So, but being free and being able to appreciate everything that freedom has to offer, and just the normalcy. I don't need any sort of grandeur or any sort of, extravagance. Just appreciating being able to make my own decisions, whether that be to stay home and do nothing, or to grind out and give it all I got for a day. Knowing that I have either of those options or anything in between, I appreciate that. And another thing that brought this topic to my head was, there's a YouTube channel called The Family TV, a really good YouTube channel guy. He talks about a lot of crime stories, and he puts the videos together really well. So I was watching one recently, I think just maybe yesterday, and there was a guy who was shot in the face by somebody, I guess in his neighborhood. This guy survived, and he waited about 7 months to get the guy back. Shot the guy in the face the same way he shot him, but then shot him in the back also and killed him. So the guy ended up, and apparently this happened a few years ago, and the family TV YouTube channel was reporting that the guy ended up he got convicted and he got a life sentence. So with a story like that, with situations like that, it's, from one perspective, depending on where you're from, what your lifestyle was like, what your mentality was like, in your household growing up, what type of upbringing you had, it may seem like his actions were justified. But in the world that we live in, the free world, you cannot take vigilante justice. You cannot get someone back, especially in a way of taking their life, even if they tried to take your life. And so this guy waited 7 months, which means that it definitely was premeditated, and he had a lot of time to reconsider his actions. Now, the guy was 27 years old when he got convicted, which was just, I think, maybe a month or so ago. And he did the act a couple years back, so he was in his early 20s. Those are prime, from late teens to early 20s, mid 20s. Those are prime years where especially young men will make bad decisions, will crash out and ruin their life, oftentimes with forever consequences, like what this guy got, life in prison. Now, you can look at it and say, well, he got his revenge, but now at 27 years old, he's never getting out. He crashed out, okay? And me, from my experience, being where I've been, I would rather, and I know this is difficult to say, but I would rather let this guy go ahead and live, or tell on him and allow the justice system, if it's going to work, to get him and put him away for however much time the guy would have did, rather than, okay, I got my vengeance, but now I'm never going to be home ever again. And let me tell you something, being in that place is fucked up beyond fucked up. Think about the worst day that you could ever have in the free world and multiply that by like 5 or 10. And that would be maybe a good day inside that place, okay? It is nowhere that anyone wants to be. You see it all the time though with situations where, say, a man or a woman catches their significant other, whether it be husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, sleeping with someone else. Sometimes you see where the person walks in and catches the person in the act. You've seen that numerous times. The guy, he pulls out the gun, kills the guy. Maybe he kills the woman, or vice versa, however it goes. And in the heat of the moment, we all understand why this person might have done that. But looking back on it, when we watch your story on YouTube, people are going to comment, and we're going to think that this person crashed out. Okay, they should not have done that. Why? Because when we see you get arrested, we are going to also know that you are probably never coming home. Okay, and no one, let me tell you something, no one is worth crashing out and losing not even one day of your life, let alone 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years life in prison. If you don't have kids, your blood, well, your line stops with you. Hopefully you have siblings or something. But if you do have kids, you'll never see them on the outside again. They're going to always have to come visit you, and they're going to have whatever kind of feelings they have. You are going to feel so stupid, going through all sorts of emotions about why you did that. Why, just thinking about how you wish you could take that moment back. I, as someone who has been released for a long time, still think back to times that I did things and I wish that I could go back and redo them. And I'm here and I'm still able to make something of myself, what I have left. But the people that really crash completely out, man, it's a really sad scenario. I personally just feel like there's nothing and no one worth ruining your life for. Doesn't matter how messed up your life may seem. It doesn't matter how messed up a circumstance is. You could be dead broke, going through a bankruptcy, going through a divorce. You could be homeless. You could be hungry. You could be jobless. I mean, just think of it. You could have cancer. You could have HIV. Listen, I would rather all of that. I would rather have all of that in this one body and still be free. Okay? I would rather have everything fucked up in the world and still be free. I used to say when I was a teenager, I used to see like homeless people sitting on the side of the road or whatever, and I would be like, I would tell my friends like, man, before that happened to me, I would, commit a crime and I would just go, be fed by the state and this and that. But once I got in there and I realized what that life is like, I would rather sit on the street and beg. Not that I would ever do that. I don't have that in me. I would go, like I said, sweep the sun off the sidewalk. But just giving you my perspective, I would rather panhandle. Okay, if I had the elephantitis in my leg, if I couldn't work, whatever it is, sometimes you see people, missing limbs out there or in wheelchairs. They really can't work. All they can do is beg. They don't have family. I would rather do that than crash out. Okay, never. Because one thing I'm going to tell you, if you are free, there is always, always, always some sort of opportunity. There's always a glimmer of possibility, of hope that something can happen for you. If you get a life sentence, that's it. There's nothing that can save you other than potentially you getting, some sort of release, like, I forget what it's even called, where you like appeal your sentence and all that. But outside of something like that happening, you're done. Your life is over. Every day is the same thing, the same food, the same people, the same place, the same clothes. Hell no, man. I would rather go through whatever I had to go through out here and stay free rather than crash out and ruin my life. And I just want to encourage anyone that is watching this video, thinking about crashing out, thinking about getting a gun and doing something, thinking about getting a knife, getting revenge, whatever the case may be, don't crash out. Don't do it. It is not worth it. It is not worth going in that place and sitting there and being talked to the way that you're talked to and feeling the way that you feel about yourself, And, we can all these things that you hear people talk about no matter what circumstances you're in, you're still who you are, and there's still you can still feel good about yourself, and you can still have. Listen, once you get inside those walls, all that is done. All right, you can sit there and tell yourself the chapel can come in and you can have service, the chaplain rather, and you can have service and prayer, and you can become a Muslim, a Buddhist, and you can meditate, and you can run laps around the rec yard, and you can get in tip-top shape. If you never going home, or if you got a 20 clip, a 40 clip, if you 25 years old right now, and you're gonna be 65 when you get out, no, okay? Your relationship, listen, you can find another person. It may not seem like it, or it may seem like you're going to be ruined because you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your kids, your reputation is going to be ruined. Let's say you cheated on the person and they're going to expose you, and whatever the case may be, you got a side chick pregnant, or you are a wife and you got pregnant by your side dude, whatever the case may be, and you want to off somebody, or you want to assist in the offing of someone, man, you better deal with those punishments that you got coming from whatever your actions are. You better deal with having that side chick pregnant. You better deal with that divorce. You better deal with that person doing whatever they did to you and you letting them go or calling the police on them. I'm going to tell you something. Everybody that knows me right now, they know, not everybody, but a lot of people that know me now, they know that someone could do something physically to me, and I'm going to call the police on them. I damn sure am. I am going to call the police on you. The only way I would engage with someone physically is if they were attacking me like presently, and I had to defend myself right here, right now. Or if it's, my mom, my family, something like that, I'm gonna defend them in the moment. But if it's over and I have to go and look for them, no. I am going to call 911 and I'm gonna get that person arrested. You know why? Because I know how fucked up it is in prison, and I know that sending them to prison for 5, 10, 15 years is way worse than giving them an ass whooping, or better yet, engaging with them and letting them beat me up. And so now I look even more stupid. I tell you something, I will have 911 on speed dial. People that know me know this. I don't deal with no guns. I tell people, listen, if you have something going on that you don't need no one to know about, don't tell me either. Okay, don't inform me. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. It's not going to benefit me to know, and it's not going to benefit you to tell me. Trust me. Okay? So I just wanted to rant a little bit about that, because you see also so many young teenagers, gang members, throwing their lives away over gang this street, this block, just ruining their lives, completely crashing out. I saw a story just the other day. A 15-year-old killed a 14-year-old. 15, they said they're charging him as an adult, which means he's gonna get life. Okay, you get pulled over. Let's say you get pulled over and you got a whole bunch of drugs in the car. You know you're going to go to prison for 15, 20 years. That's better than life for shooting the cop and driving away like you see some stupid people do. Listen, take the lesser of the two evils. That's all I'm saying. Don't crash out. Don't screw yourself for longer than you have to. And we all make bad decisions. We all wish we could go back and change things. We all get ourselves into circumstances that we look back and say, dang, and there might be a door that looks like if we go through this door, we can clear ourselves for the moment. But on the other side of that door is you go down a little bit further and the door is locked, and this door that you just came through, it locked behind you, and now you stuck in there. Okay? So I just wanted to say that. I ain't gonna rant too much longer. Don't crash out, bounce back. Remember that. Bounce back. You can always bounce back. If you get divorced, you lose your house, you go bankrupt, you lose your job, you lose your cars, whatever it is, you can get all that stuff back. It may take time. It may take 10, 15, 20 years, but you can get it back. But if you go to prison forever, there is no getting any of that stuff back. And you're going to be a meme. You're going to be someone that we think about of what not to do. We're going to say, oh, remember such and such, how they went and did such and such? Yeah, I'm not going to do that because look what happened to them. You don't want to be that person, okay? Thank you for coming back to my channel. Drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. Until next time, I'll see you all soon.